Are we live?
Alright,
Alex,
hello
are we?
everyone, and welcome to season 10 of Tier-3. It is I, Simply YT, and I will be a commentator for today. Joining me today is Ashray, who I believe is not here right now.
No, I'm here. Hello,
Okay,
guys.
well, Ashray is here, and we're in for a treat for sure. It's going to be quite an interesting race to look forward to. But without wasting further time, let's quickly look at the Hotlap video.
Alright then, let's go for a lap on board Helium of the Circuit Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. As we go down the straight, this is going to be a major part of the strategy for people, as the DRS has a substantial effect. You can catch drivers from pretty far back as you head down towards turn 1. Find the 100-meter curb on the left hand side. With turns 1, 2 and 3, you want to adopt a miss, hit, miss kind of strategy with the curbs. Miss the first curb, cut the second curb, and then miss the third one. DRS open once again, back-to-back DRS zones down to turn 4 here. Interesting entry because the perfect line through here requires you to sacrifice your line through the first corner. A double right-hander through turn 6 and 7 leads us on to one of the most difficult parts of the circuit with very, very tight track limit requirements. This is going to be a place where drivers can rack up penalties very, very quickly in the race if they're not careful. Thread your needle through there, and you're now coming up to possibly the most infamous part of the Circuit Hermanos Rodriguez. Brake, turn in, and now you're presented with the massive and intimidating stadium section. In real life, this can have a major impact as the fans are shouting in order to support their favorite driver. Round the final 2 corners, get as close to the wall as possible, keep as close to the inside apex as possible, come across the line, and that is a lap of the Circuit Hermanos Rodriguez.
That was a very good lap from my co-commentator here, Ashray. What are your thoughts about this track, Ashray? Let's quickly have your thoughts on this.
People might come into this thinking, it'll be tough to overtake. It will be a very boring race. Well, they're referring to the real life race, but I highly disagree. As I would say, there'll be a lot of action in the race due to the very unpredictable racing in here, where there can be a lot of incidents, or where drivers have to be really, really careful to not cause an incident or be part of an incident and ruin the race. So I guess we can expect safety cars to ruin a couple people's strategies today.
I completely agree. That is a very, very big possibility, the safety car. Talking about the safety car, let's have a quick look at the very, very quick look at the track guide as well while we're at it, the track video. Alright, 3 sectors, 17 turns, 4.3 kilometers long, 3 DRS zones, only 2 detection zones. The first and the second detection zone obviously share the one detection. A bit of an elevation change. Sector 3 is going to be very tricky with the stadium section, and the S is in Sector 2 as well. And I believe the action on this track has started, so let's quickly switch over. Well, here we are in Mexico, waiting for the one-shot qualifying. I will explain the format to the viewers really quickly here. So now we're waiting for the one-shot qualifying because of obviously time constraints. We cannot have an 18-minute qualifying, but the format is as one-shot qualifying, 18-minute sprint race, and then the 50% race itself. All of it will obviously fit in about an hour and a half, but of course, because of safety cars, it could have gone a bit longer. But of course, as Ashley was saying, this track, well known for loads of safety cars and a bit of fun racing. Of course, Ashray and myself have quite fond memories of this track from a few seasons ago, so it will be very interesting to see what these drivers can do, no?
Yeah, I would say this weekend will be really tricky as they only have one shot, to set a quali lap, and then we will decide the grid on the sprint. And sprint race, I would assume most of them will go on mediums as it'll be pointless to stop. And in the race is where we see the real strategies come at play, where people might have to manage tires, do all the right pit stops, and hopefully not get involved in incidents.
Absolutely, that the incidents, especially in lap 1, turn 1, is going to be quite a bit of a tricky situation there, to say the least, because of obviously the nature of the track. Everyone just wants to send it down the inside to gain as many positions as possible, as we have started the one-shot qualifying. And of course, this thing will help us for now by telling us who has the most straight line. By the looks of it, it is either Gina or Swagger Turbo. Gina leading into turn 1. And let's just say on board Swagger Turbo, he seems to be quite consistently fast. Never mind.
It is tough
The
to
positions
commentate
are
on this
changing,
as
of course.
everyone is doing their laps at the same time. So I would say, yeah, let's just hope we'll try our best.
Exactly. We have to look at who's looking good for now. For now, though, I'm seeing Swagger Turbo and Ritesh 93.57 as well as the shirt like they're looking quite good. Perhaps
It is
a very very good chance for pole here.
Destroyer Track looked weak down the straight line, but he made up all his time in the corners. I saw him getting bogged down on the main street, but he's just back up the top now.
Well, we'll have to see how that goes because the next sector as well just requires that downforce, that mechanical grip, and if you don't have either of those, well, you will be sliding far off. Although for now, though, Ritesh very close in P2, Lean Sip in P3, who is also a real life driver, so yeah, he's gonna be one to look out for again for sure. But by the looks of it, Destroyer Track is coming around the final corner and will never mind. Ritesh takes pole by the nick of it.
Ooh, and as you saw that, Swagger Turbo, who was competing for pole, suddenly has invalidated his lap. So he's out of contention for top 3. So he'll have to make up his positions during the sprint race to decide his position for the race.
Exactly, as you said, sprint race is very, very crucial, especially to track like Mexico, because that obviously decides your finishing order in the main race, which is where you obviously score big, big points. And him not having a pretty good starting position could be very, very crucial, especially when he's starting all the way in the back. That could mean disaster for him going into turn 1. But then again, I don't want to jinx anyone. We'll just have to see how it goes. Although quite a few drivers were not able to set lap times here. So of course track limits as well will be quite tricky. And can we quickly please capture the race director as well, Alex?
While we're
incidents.
talking about the grid, it does warm my heart to see a specific name, Axel Bobby, who was a close comrade of me and Simply while we were racing back in our Xbox days.
Indeed.
He's finally come to the PC side, which is good to see. Let's see what he has this weekend.
Of course, those memories will obviously always stay, especially from Mexico. I can't help but bring it up again and again. Ashray, those were definitely the days, as we would like to call it. All right, well then, as we
Speaking
wait
of
for
the
the guys
Mexico
to sprint.
race,
Yep,
I did
go on,
remember
Ashray.
something which a lot of people did, where many people spun out of the last corner into the pit lane, which I think we might see, especially people who use medium or obstruction.
Yeah, that could be a very big issue. And as far as I know as well, it will be a very, very big issue, especially in this game, because sometimes, because of the RNG costing of this game, if you get stuck on the pit lane entry, there could be a very, very big chance that, your car doesn't coast. And if someone's following you in, then who knows, maybe that person gets collected up as well. And if there is a safety car, again, same issue. They might not coast. So then essentially the pit lane's virtually blocked because you're not allowed to enter or exit the pit lane after you've crossed the starting the curb or the cone that signifies the starting of the pit line. So you're basically screwed at that point.
Yeah, this game never ceases to amaze me in how it gets surprising.
Well, it never ceases to surprise any one of us, to be honest.
Also, another thing that the stewards have reminded the drivers on is that they have to enter the pit lane in while minding the pit empty
Guys,
line.
sorry to interrupt you once again. Has Alex please, Alex, if you haven't, please enable streamer mode on Discord, because the Discord overlay as well as all your notifications are showing up on live stream, and I don't want our personal DMs to be visible to the whole world. So please enable it right now.
Alex does seem to have a lot of personal things going on in the back, so that's good for him.
Scroll down, scroll down. Just no, scroll up now, scroll up.
Go
Streamer
to
mode.
streamer mode below Windows settings and enable
it, please.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, and let's
Yeah.
hope I can recover my train of thought.
Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. By the looks of it, I think we're starting now for the sprint race. So, Ashray, why don't you take us through the start?
Yes, as I was saying, now when during the race, when people enter the pit lane, they have to keep in mind about the pit entry line, and if they cut it and they are caught, they will be penalized. Okay, as the lights are going on, 3, 4, 5. It's lights out, and away we go. Wait, not yet. Oh, drive through for Swagger and that shot. As Ritesh gets a better exit there, destroy a drag, and the McLaren is also really close to him. It looks like it's going to be 3 wide into the first corner. Who's going to come out in front? Oh, I think the McLaren got it. Yes, the McLaren has gotten it.
Indeed,
And he's heading-
Lindsipper is in the lead now of this race, and I see a car spinning in the background. I believe, I don't. Yeah, that won't be a safety car for sure. That was Ace's scoop, I believe, has spun. But yeah, Lindsipper is ahead. Ritesh still following very close. Destroyer Drag not having the best of starts, as Death Hunter gets pushed off wide and still manages to stay ahead. Sandeep Maridu following him very closely by, and Sandeep is ahead of Death Hunter yet again. Drive making a move on Vinay. Let's see, going through the S's, the very tricky section as you were mentioning, Ashray. By the looks of it, no spins so far, but yeah, those tires will for sure be cold. And as I say that, Axel Bobby, by the looks of it, has spun through the S's, might have an incident with Deadshot. Will it be a first lap safety car? There's still yellow flags. Axel Bobby does not seem to have lost his wing. And no, it is green flags yet again, but yeah, very eventful lap 1.
So I think as expected, it's not really expected, but at the same time, I think people kind of had predicted that the people in the second row will get a jump on the people in the first row. That's why you can see the McLaren lean snipper, who was in P3, from what I remember, has jumped to P1.
Yes, he has, and Swagger Turbo, I think, spun out at some point, and he has indeed pit. And we just would like to remind the drivers as well as the viewers again, for sprint you only get 1 tire allocation of either the mediums, and if you're using the hards, it takes away your race's hards. If you do decide to box in the sprint, which Swagger Turbo and Aces Scope have done, they're using up their actual race's tire allocation. So their main race's tire strategy is completely screwed over now, because they will not have a fresh set for themselves.
Yeah, it will be very integral for people who haven't already caused damage to their wing to not cause damage to it. So that, because of their pit, they will be using the tire for their race. So as you can see, Vitesh still in P2, still close to Lean Snipper, but Lean Snipper has to pull away from him if he wants to keep his lead, so that Vitesh doesn't get DRS. As he sets the fastest lap, I think he will be pulling away from the pack.
Yeah, I mean, he does drive in real life, and he's clearly showing his absolute amazing racecraft as well as race pace, and so is Mohan by getting past Sandeep Maridu. I think that could be a double overtake, or not, because Mohan and Sandeep are going side by side through the first 3 corners. Mohan has the inside line, pushes Sandeep off, and I think Sandeep might have lost a position to Jinan as well because of that. And yes, he has. Jinan following very close to Mohan. Now they're both going side by side, and Mohan
E-Dog is also here,
ahead.
picking up the scraps.
Indeed, E-Dog is also here. Sandeep Maridu trying his hardest, and that is Racer getting past these two. That was a truly here goes Hamilton moment. And yeah, Racer's managed to pull that off. And considering where he qualified in the one-shot qualifying, which is of course very hard to pull off because you obviously only get 1 shot, he is doing pretty good to come back in the sprint race. And by the looks of it, Ripe has made a mistake and spun as well through the S's, so the S's are really catching the drivers out. Mighty Owl and Wolf and Theria having a little bit of a scrap as well.
Yeah, I would say the pack is pretty close right now. All the way down to P17 is really close. And most of it who are buying back are just people for wing damage. Other than that, you can see battles all across the track. I think it's a yellow flag in all 3 sectors. Is that
That's
a
the
safety car?
VS3. That's the VS3.
Ah.
I believe it could be because of Axel Bobby, because I think he spun
Oh, you
again.
dropped back a bit. But does spinning alone cause a VSC?
I don't think so, unless he spun and stopped at a very crucial bit, maybe the last corner or so. Then that could be it. But again, why it's not full SC and just the VSC. But yeah, at the end of the day,
Right.
Bobby doesn't seem to have any damage, so I think he'll be glad.
Yep. Right.
A
took
drag
the
through from
opportunity.
Mohan.
Oh, that is gonna hurt. Right, Peter to softs. That actually might be a smart move because I doubt anyone will be using softs in the race. So I guess if you're gonna pit, use the softs.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a pace advantage, which will be, but it will be quite sketchy towards the end.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, considering where he is, it is better to defend from his position because Swagger Turbo, who is very close and with warm tires, so it is better to defend his position. Whereas Lean Sipper, by the looks of it, is not being able to do so properly because now Ritesh is well within his DRS. Ritesh has turned his DRS on. He's not using his ERS, which is a very smart move. Gaining. He's being forced around the outside into turn 1, has the inside line for turn 2, and I think he's made the mistake. He has done it.
Whoa, that was really close racing. Really good respect between both of them. As we see E-Dog and Sandeep Maridu fighting, E-Dog, I think he had to let him through because he was on the inside and Sandeep Maridu just broke way later. But E-Dog is trying to come back at him by using ERS. But E-Dog is already really low on ERS. But here comes E-Dog. Can stick it around the outside. No, Sandeep Maridu goes out wide. But he goes out wide here as well. But I think Sandeep Maridu has the position done and they will move on to SS where it will be tough to overtake.
Yep, for sure. And Alex, can you please press the T key on your keyboard? Thank you. There we have a better look at the telemetry, and E-Dog's completely out of the ERS just within the first 5 laps.
Yeah, the ERS management is really important here because I've heard a lot of drivers complaining about how ERS regen is terrible at this track, which is quite the vast contrast compared to Australia, where the ERS regeneration was really good.
Indeed, ERS regeneration in Australia was very good because of the nature of the track. Here you do of course need a lot of ERS because of the long straights, and Ritesh has been overtaken by Lean Sipper here, something we've completely missed. And E-Dog's gone past Sandeep Marido as well. Ritesh getting very close to Lean Sipper here. Will he be able to make a move? No, because Lean Sipper does have that DRS and a lot more ERS compared to Ritesh as well.
I think one thing people might not know is that the DRS detection near the end of the lap applies to both DRS straights, the first and the second.
Yep.
So if you 1 second behind, within 1 second behind the person through that corner, you will get DRS down the main straight and down the second straight as well. So it is really important for you to get that DRS so that you can overtake the person and then make sure the person stays behind in the second straight.
Absolutely correct there, Ashray. That is usually the goal what people go for, and that is why I've seen a lot of drivers do this as well, where if they can't make the move out of turn 3, then they just give up and make a move, or at least try to make a move the lap after, because even if you're close enough, the car ahead obviously gets a much better exit, and they're just able to pull away quickly because you're getting dirtier. Mohan seems to have spun. Ritesh again being forced around the outside here, going into turn 1. Will he be able to make the move stick? He's not quite alongside yet. He is now, and there's contact between Lean Sipper and Ritesh, and he's lost 2 positions because of that. Destroyer Drac has taken the lead of this race, and he has a lot more ERS as well, so the race's face has completely changed now.
Yeah, I think that's what Ritesh. I think Lean has left him plenty of space, but Ritesh just went a bit too wide there. But that has let Destroyer Drac come back to this race and make his win come back to life. What's that word that is given to people who win the sprint? I completely forgot. Is it a Sprint King? I forgot what it's called.
I
Do you remember?
believe sprint race winner? I don't know.
It is a really cringe name. I can't remember what it was.
Hey, that is why you can't remember it. But yeah, an interesting fact about sprint, actually, at least in IRC, it's kind of an IRC curse that I've noticed over the time period. Anyone who ends up in the top 2 or top 3 in sprint usually do not finish in the top 2 or top 3 in the main race. It's kind of a gift and a curse because it kind of shows how much potential you have, but something or the other has always happened to the sprint races top 3 setters, and they just never end up there.
I think that's sort of the goal where real life F1 is trying to achieve, where sprint race and the real race kind of make it interesting, but that's just not the case in real life. But it is the case in here, as we see Mamu going down around the outside of E-Dog.
Oh,
Sorry, Sandeep. But that was a bit sketchy right there. I think Sandeep could have done a better job of giving Mamu space. But anyways, we move.
yeah, and
Here
that
comes
cost
Vinay
him a
as he-
space. Oh, 3 positions at once.
I think
That was
he had
unexpected.
illegal overtake.
Yeah,
and he
that
took
could
back
be
the
it.
position.
And now he's just casually taking them back. Never mind, he goes off. But he still passes Sandeep Murray to now to tackle Vinay and Mighty Owl. Both of the Alpines were right ahead of him. And that was a bit sketchy.
Yeah, what happened there? Did he lose traction or did he just break?
It could be network lag, you know. Can never
that
trust this game.
also. True.
Well,
I
as we're
think
coming into the
this-
closing stage of the sprint, you're saying, Ashray?
At the end of the day, this has costed Mamu and Sandeep 2 positions each. Which is really not good for them.
Yeah, it is a bit
Let's talk about
disappointing.
let's talk about penalty situation. People have gotten penalties in just a matter of 9 laps.
Can we go on
So
with
that's a
Dead
bit-
Hunter really quickly? Sorry to interrupt, Ashray.
Yeah, no
Seems to
problem.
be close
That-
to over there.
Oh, and he's made the move already?
And yep, he is ahead. He's struggling for traction, but gets the move stick almost as if he's on full wets and completely dry conditions.
That reminds you of Limitless's minus 200 degree tires.
But yeah, you think
Ah.
something, Ashley. Don't lose the train of
I'll be
thought
honest
here.
with you, I kind of lost my train of thought. So let's just
Okay, that's also
think-
fine. I believe you're talking about time penalties here with the track limit.
Yes, true. That's a total of 7 people with time penalties, and that will really cost people their position since the pack is so close together.
Yeah, that
Mist
is gonna be
seems to be
devastating.
locking up everywhere as well. Is your ABS off? It's really weird.
Yeah, ABS. I believe he's using no assist. So
okay.
yeah, that could be the reason why he's locking up. But yeah, as you were saying, track limit's very, very crucial on this track because very easy to get, not hard to, just avoid them, especially when the tires really wear in after, even in the sprint race now, 10 laps on those mediums. It's it's not too much tire wear, but it's around 30-40%, which is still quite a bit. And the more the laps they do, the more they're pushing, especially in the sprint, because it is technically still qualifying. So that does afford them pole position for the actual main race, where of course they're scoring bigger and better points. So when you're pushing constantly like this, the tires do tend to obviously wear out a lot more, especially on a track like this, where you do need that tire to stick in a lot of corners, and there's loads of G-forces being pushed through them. It does become an issue, and it just becomes easier and easier to pick up penalties, and harder to avoid, going off the track, because that understeer with the dirty air as well. It's a big sort of pot that stirs up to pretty much penalty disaster, is what I'd like to call it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, these are all tests for the drivers where they must endure the tire wear and the lack of tire grip that comes with the tire wear as well. And while we were talking about the penalty situation, Mamu, or Red Bull car driver, Mamu Kati, whatever you want to call him, also has gotten a penalty. And you can see the penalty situation is quite bad, especially for Death Hunter, because he has gotten 6 seconds, and with that 6 seconds, if the standings finish the way it is right now, he will drop to P8, all the way from P4. That's how close the pack is.
Yep, the pack
Another
is
person
very
gets a
close.
penalty. But yeah, I think this will really kind of shows how much penalties we'll be seeing in the actual race. Let's hope people learn from what they do here and try to avoid this in the actual race.
Of course, Raib getting penalty as well. Jiran seems to have made a mistake. I think he's gone off. He is losing positions immediately because he's obviously losing a lot of time. I don't know if he's stopped, if he's spun, But yeah, I think he's definitely spun because of the amount of positions he's lost. But yeah, and we did see, I believe, at some point, Sandeep and Mohan, I believe, were having a small scrap before they pulled away from each other again. So yes, battles throughout the field, and that's Jinan who spun yet again. Yellow flags for him. Those tires are very, very hot at this point.
Yeah. I think we're on the second last lap, and Destroy Drag has pulled
Last
a
lap,
decent amount of gap. Yeah, now it's the last lap,
of course.
and I don't think Lean Snipper. Oh, he might get DRS. I don't think so, but I think
Nope.
he has secured pole. We'll have to see all the way till the end of the lap. And I think so far it no safety cars but a single VSC, and I hope people who have made mistakes will probably not repeat it in the actual race. As you see Ritesh fighting Lane Slipper, and he doesn't make the move.
Oh.
What a move. But Lane Slipper overtakes him back off the track. I wonder what the stewards think of that. What do you think, simply?
Well, I don't obviously want to comment on it because I'm not a steward. But yeah, I think Ritesh almost made that move stick, or at least Linsipper's got a 5-second time penalty, which is obviously
illegal overtake.
exactly illegal overtake, and that it obviously must be a bug or not, because he did overtake Ritesh off track. But what else could he have done, because Ritesh was obviously very close to the track limits there, and him rejoining would have been very crucial. So I guess he'll just have to live on with it. He'd still secure a P3, to be fair to him. Who's securing a P1 is Destroyer Track, followed by Ritesh and Lean Sipper. Death Hunter will be P4, Uday P5, Racer with an amazing comeback in P4 now, actually, because he didn't pick up any penalties. Mighty Owl in P8, or actually no, will be P9, will drop down, but on track a P8 for him. And yep, there you go. We're just gonna let the auto settle for a bit because of the time penalties. But yeah, pretty good sprint race so far.
Yeah, I would say it's action packed. Most of the pit was very close. And there's still extra going on as Axel Bobby is fighting right. Both are on soft tires. As let's see if Axel Bobby goes for a move anywhere, it'd be really, really tough. I think the only place they can move is maybe out of the exit from here. Axel Bobby be cutting it close. Who gets better exit? Axel Bobby got a better exit.
Side by side,
And
Axel is ahead.
Wait, could that because of no? That's penalty.
Penalties. I mean, it was still side by side on track. We'll
Yeah,
take
but
it.
I think the gap was only like a tenth between them because Ripe's gap was only 2.9 tenths behind him. So that is the really, really close finish between them.
Yes, that indeed. Very, very close finish. And I did see someone asking for the point system for the sprint, and that was your points. Top 8 do get the points here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, obviously. And, well, the standings seem to have disappeared.
As I said, the game never ceases to surprise me.
Indeed, EA is a bit, well, I can't say what I want to say on stream, but you guys can fill in the blanks. I'm pretty sure none of you have anything positive to say about it anyways. But yeah, Ashray, jam-packed, very action-packed as well. Sprint race does goes to show us that the whole pack is very close to each other. Of course, there's a bit of separation because of incidents and all of that. But if we assume that they have a clean race and there are none, then they will be sorted, to say the least.
Mm.
We're going
It'll
to be
be
very
very
close.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we switch to intermission, please, for a brief moment? And if you can, please mute your speaker output also.
We'll be right All right, we are back after a very, very short break here. We do apologize for the inconvenience, but fear not. Me and Ashray are indeed back. We're just waiting for the drivers to load up for the main race. Of course, there's a 1 minute time period where they're not allowed to do so. And yeah, right. So, Ashray, are you there?
Oh my god, I was speaking, I was muted. Sorry. Yes, I was about to say it will be a long race. So sit back, relax, and
Indeed,
grab a snack because I think it is a 36 lap race, right?
it is indeed a 36 lap race with a high chance of
Yeah.
safety car, so this could stretch on for quite a bit. So, considering it is the night time right now, if you haven't eaten your dinner yet, probably go quickly grab, your food and come back here because, of course, you do not want to miss out on any of the action. We do not have any Sky Q or Sky Glass customers because obviously we're not Sky Sports, so you will have to, unfortunately, watch it live.
I mean, you can always scrub back, but I guess why miss the live action that way?
Exactly.
Because there won't be a moment without action. Or so I hope.
I'm pretty sure there won't be, considering how close they were in the sprint race itself.
Mm.
But yeah, talking about coming back to the race, strategies. Quite a few things that they can consider. Of course, the safest strategy would be hard mediums, but of course, there could be a few people starting on softs because even they know the risk factor of that turn one, lap one safety car, and if you get collected in it, and if you're on the hards, then it is pretty much wraps for your
Mm.
you know your
Mm.
race from then on out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because like I don't think many people want to start with hearts, even though that's sort of the best strategy because like you said, it can completely turn against you as if you're involved in an incident first lap. There isn't another hearts to go on to unless you chose the harder compound. But yeah, other than that, hearts to medium switch to hearts are the competitive strategies. As we see, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out,
This is
and
jump start.
away we go. As you can see, Destroyer Drag got a good pull away. Let's see if someone behind him gets an insane toe. As we see again, Lean Slipper gets an insane toe off of Destroyer Drag. Is competing him with him for the first place. He's on the inside. Does he finish the move? He finishes the move.
No.
As you see, a McLaren and a Ferrari collide. I think is it or Mercedes?
I believe it
I think
was
it's
a
a
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
That was Racer. Oh, what? What are we seeing that is Axel, Bobby, and Wolf Imperial's car just mounting over each other? I guess is the
Also,
best thing to say.
did you notice that Racer had major collision and didn't even get wing damage?
That is a bit weird.
Okay, I think the game's glitch might have saved him there. As you can see,
Yep.
oh, Lean Slipper, I guess he got his position back. Because
Yeah,
Destroyer Drake is back ahead.
Mamuk Admi's gotten a 5-second penalty or Red Bull driver, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, I think like hopefully it's removable or else it's going to affect his race really, really badly.
Indeed, and the S is already cashing Mohan out. The rest of the pack still very close to each other, whereas Mohan now quite far behind. The only driver to start on softs is Lean Sipper, and Ritesh already has a 3-second time penalty before the first lap's even finished.
Yeah, I think it's not really that surprising. He's on the hards. I guess he's not very used to the hards. He that he had to take it easy. I guess he was focusing on the people ahead and really try to push hard to keep up with them. And while doing so, he extended track limits a lot. As we see, Lane Slipper take P1, but he's a soft, so he should be pulling away. He should make the best use of the softs, or else he will be in a really bad position. If he's stuck in a battle, his softs will be completely useless as he will have to pit earlier than the others while not gaining much of an advantage.
Indeed, but he can always count on that safety car. And we're only 2 laps in. The pack is still close. One mistake and one, one bit of the game bugging out, not ghosting anyone, could obviously directly result in a safety car at any point. And of course, that last corner, as we were talking about earlier, could catch a few people out, especially in the pit entry, because there, if someone spins and gets beached there or stuck there, it is a guaranteed safety car.
Hey, Alex, can you go on board Uday? I think he might be close to making a move. So he's right behind Death Hunter, both of the same compound of tires. On the next lap, there will be DRS, but however, since this detection zone is in lap 2, they will not be getting DRS. So the first DRS straight will effectively be the third sector of this coming lap. And Dean
Exactly.
Slipper takes the fastest lap right now, evidently because he's on the soft tires. And as you can see, DRS is enabled. Is Uday sizing up a move? Can we enable telemetry, please? He's going down the inside.
Very close there.
That was very sketchy there. But Death Hunter, does he try to go for a move down the straight? Does he get a better exit? He's using his ERS. But I think Death Hunter got a better traction out of there. But you can see Uday coming back at him with ERS. But I think Uday is going to sit back for a while now and let DRS do the work.
I guess that could be it, unless very close again between Uday and Death Hunter. Uday very obviously enthusiastic to make that move as soon as possible because he knows he has the pace right now with the mediums, and of course he is faster than Death Hunter right now. But of course Death Hunter doing an amazing job of blocking Uday off as Uday goes off completely wide, and this is the first DRS of this race, as Ashray was talking about, because again, the first two DRS zones share one detection that we are coming up to right now. And will Uday be in the detection comfortably? Well, not comfortably, but yeah, well, he is in the detection. Quite a bit far behind that Hunter, though. I think he's more on the side by E-Dog at this point rather than Death Hunter. Because obviously E-Dog is on those cards, and I think Mamuk Admi or Red Bull Drive is getting very close to Swagger Turbo as well. Just 3 turns separating the two of them. Can he make a move going into turn 1? Will he make a very ambitious drive? No, he does not.
I think Mamu is just being really careful as it is a three-way battle, so it will be tough to win out when you're the person in the last because the person in front of you will also be getting DRS.
Yep.
Anyways, I think the gaps are really close right now. Simply continue.
Yep, gaps are indeed close, but the only gaps that are not close is between Axel Bobby and the track limits because he's on 3 seconds because of that.
I didn't have to do him like that. Let's hope. And avoid getting more penalties and tries to make up as many positions as possible.
Yeah, Lane Zipper, he has maintained the lead currently, but I mean, those softs are only going to last for about one more lap before they start dying. And I think Destroyer Track is comfortably within the DRS of Lane Zipper. He's closing in even more. Will he be able to make a move into turn 1? I think he's going to get forced around the outside. Will he brake later? He does. And they're still going side by side, going through into turn 1 here. Turn 2 now. Still side by side. Lane Zipper has the inside lane. Contact between Destroyer Track and Lane Zipper, but no damage so far.
Yeah, that was very close and good racing between both of them. Let's hope to see more of that kind of racing throughout the race.
For sure. Axel Bobby, you can see slowly creeping in on Racer and Mist here, who will be having a battle very soon. I think it will become quite a crucial job for Mist now to defend from Racer, who's obviously a much faster driver here. Because Ace Scoop, his teammate, is only 2.5 seconds down the road. And obviously, considering he's behind him right now, I think he will have to play the second gunner and try to do, the first gunner and try to do whatever he can to his maximum extent to keep Racer behind.
Yeah, it is really close between them, and I think Destroyer Drag will get DRS out of this corner. Let's hope that he can try to overtake him. As you can see, Lane Slipper has not been able to pull a gap with the softs, which is really bad for his strategy. As you can see, Destroyer Drag coming at him with DRS, and this should be a relatively easy move unless Lane Slipper tries to outbreak him, which he doesn't. Ooh, that was very close between them. And Destroyer Deck will also get DRS down this straight as one detection zone for 2 DRS straights.
Exactly, and that would mean that Destroyer Deck will be for sure at least a second out from Lean Zipper, and those softs I think I can officially say that they are dead right now. So he will not be able to make much use of those, and he did go on the risky strategy, and clearly it has not worked out. He's going to be losing a lot more positions unless there's a safety car I'd say within the next 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, he needs to be very careful to not get eaten up by the whole grid, or else that will make his ruin strategy even worse.
Absolutely. You were saying?
If anything, I think a safety car would definitely help him, as he will be able to pit at a very low cost. And I think he put on the softs with a safety car in mind, and a safety car not coming in time is derailing his strategy even more.
Absolutely. I think he did try to project a safety car within the first 3 laps, but of course that's not happened. Wolf Imperius spun, so it might happen here unless he's in the pits. There's no pit symbol next to his name, so that's definitely a mistake by Wolf Imperia. I cannot see him on the track map weirdly, so I'm not sure as to where he is. Swagger Turbo, the first driver to call into the pits, and that's way too early for the mediums.
Yeah, way too early for the that's way too early. I think he got a damage from the battle going on near the back, as he's on the hards. Are the hards? Can they go on till the end of the race simply?
From this point, no, because he'll have to stretch him out for 30 laps, and that's not really possible on this game.
What's the maximum amount of laps that the hards can go on for?
I'd say about 23, 25, depending upon how well you can manage your tires.
Okay.
So yeah, he will indeed have to pit again. So now he is counting on a late safety car in this race, and that is Ace Scoop was spun. And yeah, just Yellow Faction Sector 2, no damage, no broken wing, hence why no, of course there is no safety car out yet. 7 laps into this race, not the best of, I don't know, not the best of the first since we have seen, because of course we have seen a lot more action, but still, not to put these drivers on, they have done well so far.
Enter no more pro player in the comms box.
Oh, hello, PP.
Hello. I have been watching this race on my alternate monitor since a very long time, and definitely we are at the stage where people are starting to pit in. I'm not sure why Wolf Imperia decided to go into the pits. Is he lacking a wing?
I'm not. No, he's not. But what I can tell you is, I did catch him cutting through the pit, so that will for sure be a penalty from the stewards.
Leave the cutting through the pits. He definitely did not slow his car enough, and he did get a 5-second penalty that just popped up on the screen a couple of seconds back. So that's not gonna help him either in this entirety of the race. Alex, can we have the penalty situation after 1/4 of the race is almost done? Yes, we already see a lot of 3 seconds, and we have Red Bull Cut driver with 5-second penalty. But yes, the field is very close. It seems like Death Hunter has had an incident and has dropped down 4 or 5 positions there. He was running in P2 or P3, if I'm not wrong, and now he is down in P6. So coming out of the SS is where we saw his car going slowly. So mostly he lost his car on the traction in the SS. Have to tell you that section is not gonna be easy, be it whosever race it is. We also have Lean Zipper. Yeah, Lean Zipper pitting in after he's done with his soft tires, I believe. So from P2 he pits in. That's a very late move there by Mighty Owl to the left. I almost thought that he almost took out the Haas there. Oh, there is some lag happening, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, there is a bunch of 3 cars who are all bunched together, and they are all fighting, trying to get ahead of this lag. I think the Alpine is the one that is causing the lag mostly, because I think everyone else seemed very clean. But yes, there is a dive down the inside by the Alpine. Everyone going wide for some reason, as if no one has any front wing at all for that corner. But thankfully, no one coming out facing the other way around from that corner. So they will still have more chances, provided they conserve their ERS, because ERS is definitely going to be a big part of this race for sure.
Yeah, and the timings have gone off. I believe press. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Right, well, the Destroyer Track seems to be having a very good race here at the Panshu. 5 seconds ahead of Ritesh already. They're trying to catch up with Ritesh, but unable to do so. Ritesh does have a 3-second time penalty. That's something we'll have to look out for towards the end of the race, because we're only 10 laps in. There's going to be a lot more penalties coming the drivers' way. Hopefully, no more, but it is kind of unavoidable in this track. Death Hunter making a move on Mighty Owl now, much before turn 1. And Mighty Owl is forgot to turn his ERS off, or he might have left it on purpose, because now he's ahead as well going into turn on the exit of turn 3, sorry. And here is Death Hunter coming back again with the DRS. None of them willing to give that position, even though Death Hunter does have the time penalty, and I think for a second that one of them was going sideways. Correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but yes, I think my eyes were deceived, or if not, that was very close racing.
Yeah, definitely. That was very close racing. I think it is some part of the lag also that is coming into picture here. Can we have the tires on, Alex? We will get a rough idea of who is on the mediums and who is on the hards. And there you go. Almost everyone in the field opting for the harder compounds, and no one is daring to go for the softer ones, because they definitely last only 9 laps, which is very less considering. And we have Axel Bobby spun there in the SS. So again, big part these SS play in the whole race, as you can either lose traction, you can get time penalties there, and if you rack up too many penalties, it's not helping your cause. But we definitely see bunching up happening in the entirety of the grid. We have the bunching up of Ripe, Jinan, and Deadshot, and yeah, this battle is also going on as the Aston Martin tries to pull to the inside, gives a bit of a scare to the Deadshot, but Deadshot still manages to follow his line and manages to keep the position ahead. Obviously, he will be depleting a lot of his ERS to stay in this battle, because we all know the long straight, the 2-kilometer long straight, just doesn't get over for the driver who is defending.
Indeed, they just want it to come sooner and sooner and sooner, and the next thing they know, there's still a kilometer left.
It never gets over, and then if you are not having ERS, you are definitely left very powerless there. And as we see that there's some sliding, some bottoming out on those curves, some skating in the F1 cars happening as we are on board Jinan through the SS, trying to take it as perfectly as possible to keep the gap as less as possible between himself and the Deadshot, but it looks like Deadshot is pulling away slightly bit by bit, and Ripe is trying to gain on Jinan now. So Jinan, from going to attacking, will now be trying to defend, because I don't think he will get DRS from Deadshot. I think Deadshot did deploy some ERS in the previous lap and got a bit away from Jinan there, and here comes Ripe with the DRS and ERS jump from 30%. Ripe is all the way down to 10% of ERS, so that's something that he's not gonna get back. Mounts the first curve, which we generally don't do, was not able to take the perfect line from the second corner, and that's what hampered him for the third one. What do you think? I think Ripe should have, sort of aligned himself from the second corner onwards itself, rather than thinking of going very close to Jinan there. What are your opinions on that line?
I completely agree as to what you said. I mean, he should have he has to set up the move before trying to make it, rather than just free balling it. But another mistake he's doing is that he is on a low down for setup. He already has a straight line advantage, but on top of that, he's completely dumped his ERS. So where he could have had at least 3 to 4 kph more on the main straight with the DRS and the slipstream, he didn't get it. It wasn't enough for the overtake, because he's literally used up all of it. And that seems to be an issue with all of the drivers, as a matter of fact. None of them really, trying to conserve the ERS. All of them have just used up most of it and are just relying on a safety car or something to help them out to gain that ERS back.
Yeah, definitely. Unlike Mist, who is sitting with 41%. But just as you were speaking, we saw Deadshot losing his car in the SS. So SS claiming another victim and losing a front wing in the process, and because of that loss of downforce, he was not able to stop his car for the pit entry line and getting a 5-second penalty as well. So that's something that is not going to help him to just, not sweeten his deal, definitely making it more and more sour. So he was in the contention there for P6, P5, but now he has been pushed down in the field and he will be hoping for a safety car. Talking about safety car, we expected at least one safety car till this point. We are almost halfway into the race, but I could clearly see that the Tier 3 drivers are improving as the races are going forward. And definitely in the sprint race, which I was watching, that was one of the cleanest turn one that I saw from these boys. So great job by them to keep it up for improving, and also the coordinators for giving them a lesson before the race as we get down with this season.
Yep, for sure. The coordinators have done a lot of work before the season itself, and of course they're doing a lot of work now as well. So we have to give a big hand to the coordinators for obviously arranging all of this, despite the I was about to say something, but I can't say it. So I'll just say poor condition of this game. But by the looks of it, Lean Superstars are not in poor condition because he's flying past racers on 13 lap old cards here. And yeah, a move done before even turn 1, but then again, he does not have any ERS left. So I don't know how much Racer has, but if he does have a lot more, then in the longer run, Racer will have a massive advantage.
One thing I did notice from Lean Sipper that he was not using his ERS for overtaking. That's a smart move in my opinion. If you are that close to the car ahead, why waste DRS in overtaking? DRS is more than enough to get you that position, and that's what I have seen Lean Sipper do. Probably a lot more drivers should see this and learn from him, because obviously in this game I think you barely get any ERS speed, any track, and if you are below a certain amount, it's definitely a race over for you in terms of ERS advantage.
Yellow flag, Jinan.
Yes, Jinan has spun, so another victim to the SS. Jinan has spun, but fortunately for him, not lost any wings there, so he will be continuing, although 3 positions down from where he was. So right now he will be battling a racer there. Red Bull Ka driver, or also known as Mamu Ka Admi in our server, is looking to attack Ripe. Ripe is our keyboard warrior as of now, but no contention there. A bit of ERS usage and the DRS does the job, makes it easy. I have seen Mamu has, I think, one of the most ERS on the whole grid, 57%. He is definitely caring about that.
Not strategy from Mamu for sure. I mean, you do need the ERS because of the long nature of the straight. I mean, as you said, the main straight itself is 2 kilometers long, and if you don't have the ERS, you're pretty much a sitting duck. So the best strategy would be to use a bit of it on the main straight, a bit of it on the second, on the first back straight, and then just conserve it after that, because realistically you don't need it through all the sections where you need the downforce. So there's no really point in running the ERS. So I think that is what the driver should be looking to do. And good point as well that he picked up on Lean Sipper, because even though I've already mentioned thrice already, he does drive in real life. So he obviously focuses more on getting past people using the his natural pace rather than the assistance of ERS and such. So of course it's in his nature, he's going to do it, and he's pulling it off quite well.
Yeah, definitely. We do have Death Hunter, one of the first medium runners who started the race on the mediums, pitting in right now for the hard tires, which he will be carrying till the end of the race. I am still not sure about the strategy on this track. I am still experimenting, so I can't comment on how well his strategy is gonna pan out, but I definitely know that those hards will make it to the end of the race, and he will be coming out hoping for no safety car and going till the end of the race on those hards. We definitely have E-Dog and Ritesh in the top 3 who are in prime position right now for winning this race. They are on the hard tires, they are yet to pit, but they have not gotten into any incidents. We can clearly see E-Dog has gained a lot of positions from the race start. I think one of the person who would have lost some positions would be Racer, but again Racer is coming back in the field. Even Lean Sipper, 5 positions for both of them lost, and Ripe with the 10 position gain. So obviously Ripe also looking for getting some recovery after the sprint race, and we'll keep an eye on what he does at the end of the race.
Indeed, those are the drivers to look out for, so make sure to stick till the end of this race to see who ends up where, and that's Swagger Turbo. who's just putting a bit of pressure on Ace Scoop here. Nothing too much in this contact, just as I say that. And there's more contact, there's more wheel banging between the two of them. But yes, Swagger Turbo on much fresher tires, of course eager to get past. But that also means I don't think he got the DRS here on the main straight. Has he? No, he has not.
He
So
has not.
yeah, that could be a big bummer because he is 5.5 seconds behind, and now Ace Scoop is catching up, and so is his teammate Mist. And yeah, Ace Scoop's already caught up. Now they're going side by side, going through turn 1. And Swagger manages to stay ahead. Ace Scoop not really be able to challenge him, of course, through the corners because he does not have enough grip in them. But yeah, Mist seems to have conserved his tries because he's gained a lot through the corners here. So I think Swagger's main goal now should be to either 1, pull off, or 2, just hope for the best.
Yes, or some team orders will be coming in maybe soon if he doesn't do one of those. But yeah, like as you said, there was a bit of wheel banging, but I felt it was all fun and games. Slight bit of wheel banging still is acceptable. Stewards will definitely have a look if it is reported. But in my opinion, basically, Swagger Turbo was able to scare Ace Scoop there, and because of which he had a very compromised line going into the third sector, which caused this to happen. Death Hunter, another eager driver to get past all of this and messing up all his lines, because remember, he was up there, up in the top 5 before he pitted, but after his pits, he is down there below 14. That is, he is on the grid, and he would be liking to not waste time behind the people who are having older tires and trying to get the position as much as possible. Right now, he is lining up a move on Sandeep in the Ferrari right ahead of him. So we'll see what he can do and how quickly he can dispose of the drivers ahead of him.
Indeed, Death Hunter, quite a quick drive himself. Also getting a 3-second time penalty just as he complimented the punches. I think he cursed him a little bit. And I think Axel Bob is disconnected. That is Mist going slowly. I wonder why Sandeep is ahead of Mist, and Mist is still going slowly. I'm not sure what's happening with Mist. Could it be an issue with his controller, because he is a controller driver, so I think he might be fixing that. And because of that, he might have lost a lot of positions because it's unnatural to go so slowly. And talking about the leaders, Destroyer Track, the first person to pit out of the top 3.
Yeah, he was on those mediums. Now he is back on the hards. He has not lost a lot of positions like where is my man Death Hunter there. So definitely he is still in the top 3. Although Mighty Owl is approaching at a very high speed. Obviously, everyone in P1, P2 and P4, even P5, P6, P7, everyone has to pit all the way up to P8, 9, 9, 10. Okay, till P10 everyone has to pit, so Destroyer Track is completely looking like he is just outpacing the whole field at the moment, because once these people do the pits, there's your 20-second gap that he will have, at least 20-second gap, in, if I may point out.
I don't think he'll be close to the top 5, but he will gain quite a few positions, and that is Ritesh picking up yet another 3-second time penalty. For someone who has this much pace in this race, it is just unfortunate the amount of penalties he's picking up. I mean, of course, they are very hard to avoid in this track, but still, I think a bit of calmness, a bit of patience through, especially these corners, the S's, where it's very easy to pick up track limits as well as spin out. So yeah, I think it is all in good hopes at the end of the day, and yeah, I think Ritesh can still pull off at least a top 3 finisher if he does manage to keep up with the same pace going into the second stint.
Yeah, definitely. I think most of the top drivers are right now looking to go not that quick, maybe just enough to. Oh, and there goes Mist. A bit more throttle, and that's all you need to lose your traction there, lose your car there. And I think that was a classic example of low TC right there, boys. In front of you, he is already lost all his confidence in his car. One spin is all it takes.
And there is another one.
Yeah, spill after spill after spill, but yes.
Yeah, but I think there was somewhere in turn the first 3 corners, but yeah, that's clear. Not sure who it was because nobody lost any positions. this Death Hunter sending a very ambitious move on Aces Scoop, and Aces Scoop will definitely be pissed off because of that move, because I'm pretty sure he'll think that that's not fair, and he's going very slowly as though there is a safety car. And what is it with these house drivers? Why is it that they're going so slowly after they get overtaken? What is happening?
I'm also not sure. Maybe he is also having some controller trouble, but I think he has picked up the pace. Maybe he was a bit shaken by the move that was done on him, because I think he narrowly avoided a front wing damage coming out of that incident, because if he would have turned in, he would have lost a wing. Maybe he still has a bit of damage, who knows, but hopefully he does it. But looking at the pack ahead, we do see people pitting it, the hard runners pitting in for their medium tires, which is gonna go till the end of the race. So obviously the medium runners will have a pace advantage over the hards. Based on my experience, it's gonna be around 7 to 8 tenths. In the initial half, it will be around the second, but later on it will be 5 to 7 tenths, as the hard tires can hold off their wear and their grip way better than the softer compound. So they will have to see how they can pace themselves. But definitely Ritesh is looking at a very good P1 finish, at least on the track, barring his penalties. He's just 7 seconds behind Destroyer Dak, and obviously Lean Sipper will be probably fitting for hard tires.
Yeah, Lean Sipper, I don't think he has to go for hards. If he can just manage to stay for maybe another 3-4 laps, he can just go on to another pair of mediums and finish the race on those. But of course, that would mean he does lose his top 3 finish here. And I think at this point, Lean Sipper, Aces Scoop, Sandeep as well, they're all just hoping for a safety car now, because if a safety car does come out at this point, then they'll be in absolute prime positions, because they're not going to lose as much time or positions, and they'll also be on fresher tires, of course. So they're going to have just a win-win situation at the end of the day. But yeah, we are still waiting on a track where we're expecting a lot of safety car. There seems to be none so far. We've only gotten a VSC.
Yeah, that's what. I was especially sitting in a VC just now a few minutes back, and people were like, "We expect a lot of safety cars," and they were basing their strategies for Tier 2 and Tier 1 based on the safety car aspect, and I'm pretty sure they will be taken off by seeing no safety car in Tier 3, and I am pretty sure they are back to the drawing boards and maybe coming up with strategies which does not involve a safety car, because that is something which is not in your hands. And obviously we expect some safety cars on this track, but again, considering the track is very wide and people are already very cautious on them spinning out in the SS, I think that's what has added up and made it so that we don't have a lot of safety car. As of now, we are on board Racer, who is trying to chase down Mohan in the Red Bull Mercedes, chasing a Red Bull. This takes me back 2 years, so this is what we are gonna be spectating as we are heading down for the main straight. Racer obviously on the medium tires and Mohan on the hard tires, so a grip advantage is definitely expected out of Racer, as we can clearly see that he is already on the gearbox of Mohan there. I would say Racer is taking a bit more wider lines and setting up his exits of corners rather than the entry, and Mohan was trying to just cover off the inside. Not gonna help him.
Yellow flag.
Yeah, there are yellow flags in Sector 1. Not sure what happened, but I do see a couple of cars going together there just ahead of Racer. Ripe and Red Bull driver are there who are trying to battle it out. Racer will also join the pack. Soon we have Aces Scoop pitting in just after. Oh, I think that was the yellow flag for. Yes, I think that was the yellow flag for. And he is pitted in to change his front wing with just 1 lap on those medium tires. He's definitely not gonna be happy. We are on board Ripe as we go through the S section.
Yep, Ripe getting very close. He has to make sure he doesn't mount the curbs too much, because that would obviously result in an immediate spin. He's managed to tackle them quite well. Does have the DRS to kind of assist him. Will not be using the ERS because, of course, there's a long straight coming up where it is more useful to use it rather than through here. Red Bull driver or Mamukadmi, whatever you want to call him, is on 6 lap old hards, whereas Rife is on fresh mediums, and there's contact between the two of them because there's no way Mamuka driver, whatever, he might have lost traction there. And I'm surprised he's managed to keep it clean and no safety cars. Still,
That was a very random punt that he got. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe Raib didn't see his breaking point and or did not expect Mamuk Admi to break there so quickly. Something happened because that was a very big punt. I'm not sure if Raib has a broken wing or something. Maybe we can go on board him. Is his telemetry enabled? No, that is not there. So I think the telemetry is not.
no, we're seeing the
Oh,
game.
sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Thanks for confirming. I mean, maybe the audience will get to know if whether they have the wing damage or not. But yeah, it seemed like very sudden, very big shunt there. I hope that none of them got damage and they can again come back to the positions.
I
that
think
they
it
are
could be
expecting.
an. Yep. Sorry to cut you off there, Dipanshu. But yeah, I think what I was saying was it could be an overestimation of grip from Ripe because, of course, the contrast between the hards and the mediums, just in terms of the grip itself, is quite big. So I think he's expected him to break a little bit later, despite Red Bull driver being on the hards. But of course, he could not pull it off, and I think there was a bit of contact. But then again, we'll leave it to the stewards to decide.
Yeah, definitely. We leave it up to the stewards to decide. That's what we have the default answer for. We do have a bit of gap amongst everyone around the grid right now. Racer, we were on board, who was trying to chase down Ripe. We have Jinan, who is within a second of Mamuk Admi now, trying to chase down Mamuk Admi on the hard tires. Jinan on the fresh medium. Same situation that we saw a couple of seconds back. We also have Mist, who is trying to catch up to Sandeep. We have yellow flags in Sector 2. I do see an AlphaTauri. Yes,
Oh
that's,
my God.
That's Death Hunter having another spin in the SS. I think this is his second spin, if I'm not wrong.
I believe third.
Okay, so maybe I was counting a bit less, but not helping his cause. He is back again up to P7 after everyone has pitted. I think Swagger Turbo will be going to the end of the race on these hard tires. If I am not wrong, can they do 10 laps? That will be around 29 laps plus 7 laps. Yes, they can definitely do 10 laps, be it at 70% tire wear. So we'll have to see how Swagger Turbo is planning to pull off and manage to fend the faster drivers behind him. We are on board Racer, who has caught up to Ripe and is doing the overtake on him. The overtake is still not done and very tight inside line. Ripe thought that maybe he can get the switch back, but Racer parks his car on the inside, not able to give him the switchback line. And obviously we know that the the DRS detection line for the first and the second DRS is the same, so Racer will again got the DRS to keep the position ahead.
Indeed, he is getting a bit lucky here, but Racer has lost out half a second to Uday, so he might not have the DRS for the next section, or not, because he's just pulled in 2 tenths to Uday, so he might actually have it here. Yeah, he definitely has the DRS going through here, so Racer has another chance to defend off from Ripe, and another chance to close into Uday, which of course it will help Racer out at the end of the day, but we'll have to see what he can do. For now, can we have a quick look at the penalties as well? Yep, thank you for reading my mind there. But yeah, Ritesh has to pull off 2 more seconds to ensure a P2 finisher, otherwise he will have to settle for a P3.
Yes, definitely, and we will have to see what he can pull off. Can we stay on board Racer for some time, because I feel that he is way closer and there is a battle, three-way battle going on there. So right now Racer is trying to chase down Uday going into turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, that's turn 4. So I have to count my turns just so that I am up to date with counting numbers, I guess. So that's where he is going very close, and we have Death Hunter spun again. Not sure whether it was because of a contact, but there's Death Hunter's fourth spin. I am keeping tally now, so that's his fourth spin there, not helping his cause. Maybe his tires are not behaving how he expects them to believe. Again, a very different line compared to Uday there. Uday was going a bit wide, and Racer managed to keep it tight around all the corners, maybe cutting one of them slightly and maybe getting a warning. But at the end, he managed to get the overtake done, and now Uday is under attack from Ripe because obviously the tire compound difference and the grip difference is helping all these folks to overtake the hard compound runner, that is Uday. And I think Uday is gonna lose 2 positions in the span of 1 lap, but the only thing that is helping him from not doing so is the DRS that he is getting from Racer just ahead of him.
Indeed, and one thing to also keep in mind, none of them have any ERS left, so this is all coming down to the tires' grips, their pure pace, and how much they can try and stay within the DRS.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I did notice that Ripe again did the same mistake going into turn 2 that we were talking about before. He sort of got offset by the car ahead, missed his turn 2 completely, and because of that, his turn 3 and his exit was compromised. So Ripe at least needs to get that learning from him. Learning from this race is basically he should be more into setting up the corner rather than looking to be as close as possible to the car ahead. But yeah, we do see Racer creating a bit of a gap with those more grippy tires from Uday, and Uday will not be having any advantage of DRS in this lap. And maybe this is the lap when it's done. We do have Swagger Turbo, who has lost a couple of positions. Has he pitted? Yes, he has pitted. So that's my theory gone out of the window. I did think that Swagger Turbo will go till the end of the race, but
And
he
there's no way
is
they're
not.
lasting.
Yeah, as I said, it will be 70-75%. So unless you want to take risk in the SS, which I think these drivers won't be wishing for, I think he did the right decision there.
Indeed, and a little thing about Death Hunter as well. I do see a fan of Death Hunter. Oh, I think there was the Mamuk Hadwin Swagger Turbo getting very close there. I'm not sure who was attacking who, but I believe Swagger Turbo is trying to attack. And there's another set of yellow flags. That car seems to be stopped. I'm not sure who it is. I believe it could be Ace's Scoop. And yeah, Ace's Scoop is about to get lapped here. But then again, no safety cars still. Coming back to what I was saying, there is a fan of Death Hunter in the chat who did point out earlier that Death Hunter did make a comeback, but unfortunately, I think he's been cursed by someone because he's now back down in P9.
Not at all my fault. I shall clearly mention that. But yeah, we are on board Mohal, who is just 3 tenths behind. Ripe finally has made his move. There is a yellow flag somewhere in Sector 3 itself. I'm not sure because of whom. I think Uday and Ripe had some incident there because of which there was the yellow flags that were called off. But yeah, Uday seemed to have lost around 3.9 seconds behind Ripe because of that incident.
Well. That is E-Dog with a 3-second time penalty, which means that Ritesh has a guaranteed P2.
For now.
For now, of course.
You never know when someone will get a penalty because we still have 6 laps to go in this race. Around 1/4 of the race still left. So we should not comment on the positions on a track where we know that getting a penalty is very easy. Speaking of penalties, 2 people are doing the absolute best of their work in terms of minimizing them, and that's Destroyer Drac and Mohan. Destroyer Drac obviously destroying the whole field, I might say, with no penalties and in P1. So currently he is around 11 seconds clear of P2. So even though him being on the hards, if I'm not wrong, can we switch to the tire graphics? Yes, he is on the hards, and there is a Death Hunter does kill someone, so he is not hunting death. Maybe he is bringing some death, is what I think is happening right now. But I think that there was a slight misjudgment on the exit there by Death Hunter on the speed. differential that he had compared to the other driver, and he just went into the back. That did not end up very well as he expected. Oh, that was the AlphaTauri. Oh, sorry. I did opposite. So I was thinking you should have corrected my man. So yeah, it was Death Hunter who got killed. So Death Hunter was killed. So that was someone else who was who got who somehow managed to misjudge. Who was that? Could you?
The
could you
Death Hunter, I can confirm.
No, who killed that hunter? Like who? Ah, Mohan. Okay.
Mohan.
Thanks there, Alex. You should stop looking at two screens. Not helping my cause. I am losing. I'm losing track
Yellow
of what
flag.
is happening with the race.
Again, please safety car.
That's McLaren.
None
going-
again.
obviously, if there is, if there is no DSQ or retirement, there is no scope of safety car coming out. It's just people spinning out, going slowly, recovering back. Many of them are not even losing wing, is what I am surprised to see. So that's something that is giving me confidence for tomorrow. Maybe we'll have. At least I will have some good race, because I don't think I can end up the race without spilling at even one. So it's giving me confidence, it's giving me confidence. These boys are giving me confidence.
Well, they're giving confidence to pretty much everyone with that the same sort of issue that they might have. So I do wish you the best of luck, Dipanshu, tomorrow, as well as everyone else who is in Tier 2 as well as Tier 1.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, we do see Mighty Owl less than a second, and Ritesh has also recovered 2 seconds on Destroy Deck. Can we go to P2? I think the battle for the lead is gonna spice up in
On
this
track
lap
lead.
itself. Yeah, on track lead, yes, obviously. That's what we are gonna see.
Unless
Ritesh completely missing turn 1 for some reason. I am not sure if that was the correct line to take there, my man, but because of his tire advantage, he does not lose any grip, and the DRS is just helping him get even more closer to Destroy Drag. Destroy Drag will have to pull out something from his tires, and that something has to grip. And we'll see what he can do and what he can pull out in the 3 laps that are left in the race. Obviously, this is just a race on the track, because we all know that Ritesh has 9 seconds penalty at Destroy Drag. With no penalty, might just let Ritesh go without much of a struggle. We saw a lot of drivers, go very wide on the exit of the SS. So they definitely know something that if you, go very wide, sometimes the game doesn't give you a warning.
I also know quite a few things here from Mexico, but if I were to pull them off, I think I will be in great danger of massive penalties and a lot of criticism. I will not share it for the fairness, neither will I follow it for the fairness of racing, but I think a few drivers might be exploiting it, and if some drivers, do catch the other drivers doing it and seeing that they're not facing any repercussions from it, there might be a few penalties coming their ways.
Yes, definitely. All of this can be reported. Once in a while is okay, but obviously, if you keep on doing it, just like Lewis Hamilton, you will be shown a black and white flag. But yeah, as I said, obviously overtaking off the track is definitely not allowed. So that is something that these drivers will have to keep in mind. They at least need one wheel on the track to get the move done. So that's all they need to have. To count it a fair overtake before they get reported. We have another set of yellow flags in the SS, and that's
Bobby again.
Bobby again on the same place at the same time. I am pretty sure he's cursing his setup at this point. He knows that it's his setup fault, because you can't keep on spinning at the same place because of your mistakes. So it's definitely something wrong with his setup, which he has not gotten it nailed down.
Fun again in the stadium section.
Oh, is it? Okay, the tires are not helping his cause, and he has gone on AI. Okay, now that was his car ghosted for the stadium section. This is the long straight where he will look to cool down his tires, just so that he can not be bothered with more spins. Death Hunter, after having the incident in the 3rd sector in the stadium section, is trying to crawl back up again, but his 9 seconds penalty is not gonna help him.
Great.
There is another. Okay, that's a Haas. That's Aces Scoop who has DNF.
Only if that is Aces Corpus DNF'd on the S's. Only if it came a few laps earlier, maybe we could have had a safety car. But I guess this is going to be a safety car free race.
Yes, this is. Yeah, that's actually a good analysis from you because of his particular strategy that he was following. So, yeah, but unfortunately, I think many of the drivers in this tier were hoping for a safety car. But something that they did not see was the back of an Aston Martin or Mercedes. Is it Mercedes or Aston Martin for this track? Safety car?
I believe it is. I believe it is Mercedes.
Okay, anyways, they did not see the back of that car, and because of that, they are all sticking to their original strategies. And obviously, the strategy that worked out the most.
Is someone out of fuel in sector 1? Because there's continuous yellow flags there.
Doesn't seem like.
I believe it was a Ferrari. Could be Sandeep. Still yellow flag.
Hello,
He's out of fuel. Sandeep
Oh, yes.
is out of fuel. My
Sandeep
suspicion was correct, and now he'll just have to hope he does not finish last on the last lap.
Oh my God! Why do people? Okay, yeah, that's one example of people anticipating to see the back of a Mercedes safety car. I think even Deadshot is out of here. Okay, so a lot of drivers anticipated a safety car, which definitely did not happen. So Deadshot and Sandeep are gonna be running.
Uday is also out.
Uday is also out.
What is happening?
It's falling down very bad in the last 2 laps of this race. People are going out of fuel. They did not anticipate low safety car in this race for sure.
Can you go on board Destroy Track really quickly, please?
Oh,
Destroy
yes.
Track, amazing race is done. Coming across the final corner, absolute dominant performance, and Destroy Track wins in Mexico.
And Ritesh follows very closely behind him. We are still.
Mohan's flashing. Mohan's red light is flashing for the fuel. Can he be out also?
Oh, it seems. No, he still has.
Not yet, not yet.
Yes, he still has the fuel. He still has the fuel. He's just hoping to cross the line somehow.
One more sector to go, just a few more corners. That's Uday. Something's happened to Uday there.
Uday is out of fuel, I think.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, Uday is out of fuel. So lot of drivers are running out of fuel. All the drivers who are running out of fuel. Oh, he still hasn't crossed the line. Oh, okay, there he is.
Not yet. There you go. But yeah, I think we were having a bit of a discussion a few days ago whether to underfuel or not in this track. And well, this is our answer. You should not.
You should definitely not, considering that there
Do
is
not
a lot.
rely on a safety car.
That is one thing. The second thing is the 2-kilometer long straight does not help it because you are constantly up the revs at the max speed, burning a lot of fuel, trying to overtake, and that's not gonna help you your cause. So definitely do not underfuel. Maybe take +1, +2. I think that's more than enough, but do not underfuel, I guess, is what the conclusion comes from. But yeah, that's the race here today. A very exciting race with a very twisty finish at the end. So definitely a great race that we got to watch today.
Indeed, a very entertaining and a very fun race to watch. Especially, I think my whole, I think my favorite bit of the whole race was the final lap, seeing how multiple cars just ran out of fuel unexpectedly. So I think, yeah, definitely a very entertaining race for sure. Quite a decent amount of battle throughout the pack, quite a few spins. It was a mixed bag of fortune and misfortune for all of the drivers, but yeah, well, entertaining race for sure.
Yeah, penalties were dished out left and right. That's what the track is. So can't really complain on that. But apart from that, a very clean drive by our tier 3 boys. A definite improvement when we see from the start of the season, and I hope that they continue to do this because that's what we like to see. We like our coordinator work to become more and more difficult as the season goes forward, with all the improvements and all the promotion aspect that comes into play, all these things, it's fun to watch this. It's fun to watch this. So yeah, definitely we will be coming back again tomorrow. Obviously, right now we are waiting for the drivers to come into the comms box, the top three finishers for the podium interview. But yeah, like this track always gives the best of the races that we have, and the only thing that we will be looking for is probably the tier 2 and the tier 1 race, and I'm expecting some kind of mixture of conditions going from quali to sprint to race. That's gonna make the race actual fun for tier 1 and tier 2. Say if the quali is wet, the sprint is dry, and then the main race is changing conditions. That's the most evil conditions, but that's what will bring in the most strategies. But yeah, while we wait for the drivers, simply thoughts, any more thoughts on the race that you have?
I mean, I don't have any more thoughts on this race because I've already spoken about them. But I completely agree with you about tomorrow's racing action that we have yet to come. Tier 2 is going to be really fun, and Tier 1, of course, we're going to make it fun, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Not about. I'm not sure about myself because this is me racing after a very, 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 very long time. So I'm still not sure where I will be. Maybe somewhere down the back, but definitely we will be looking for. Some kind of safety car maybe to help my cause. But seeing tier 3,
Yep.
my hopes are also gone now.
Oh,
Why don't
well,
we?
I guess
Yeah,
it is what it is.
let's start with the podium interviews, I guess, without delaying it.
Actually, 1 second, Alex, can we quickly go into the bearded back screen just before we move on to the podium interviews? Very, very quickly. We're on. We're off. Who's moving Lean Sipper in? He's not.
Okay, so sorry about that small hiccup there. We were having a bit of a confusion on who all to bring it to the podium interviews because of the nature of this sprint weekend. But we finalized that we will be having a chat with our final race winners only. So we have Destroyer Track, Ritesh in the VC for now. We will be trying to get even E-Dog in the VC. So those were our top three. So simply, why don't you start off with Destroyer Track?
Sure, destroyed rank. Amazing race from your side, man. Absolutely dominant performance as well. It wasn't the quietest of races, especially the sprint race, but still providing quite a good entertainment for you. And of course, I believe you will be delighted with that win.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Thank you so much. Yeah, in the sprint race, I had a side by side on the turn one with I think it was Lens Sniper, and then I just let him go, and I think there was Ritesh also who went through, I guess. So those two were fighting, and I was just saving my ERS, knowing my time would come towards the end. Yeah, so it just bided my time, and they had an incident, and then I just thought it was the moment to get through both of them, and then I just maintained that DRS gap. So yeah, it was a pretty easy one there in the sprint, I would say. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's all you really need to say, to be honest.
You were having a bit of a lonely race towards the end. We did expect Ritesh to, maybe have some battle for the on-track position. But yeah, once we come to Ritesh, we will talk about that aspect as well. But a brilliant drive from you, nevertheless, and finishing P1 and maintaining that P1 position. Great job.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yep, no worries. Thank you for your interview as well.
Mm.
Moving on, Dipanshu, why don't you take us away with Ritesh?
Yes, for sure. So, Ritesh, a brilliant drive from you. Obviously, the 9 seconds was something that I'm pretty sure you were not happy with since the beginning of the race. But you did compose yourself. Like, we saw that 9 second way back in the beginning of the race. But yeah, even at the end. Okay, so I have been told to do this interview in Hindi. So, okay, so let me repeat all of that in Hindi. So yeah, so
थोड़ा बहुत आता है।
हाँ या so basically मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा था कि आपने काफी अच्छा रेस किया. You were running P9 since the so you were having the 9 second penalty since the beginning of the race. And उसके चलते like you did you were a bit मतलब आप थोड़ा कंटेंशन से थोड़ा बाहर थे P1 के लिए. सो कैसा लग रहा था आपको जब आप 5/10 ही सिर्फ पीछे थे P1 पोजीशन से. सो उस टाइम आपके दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था?
काफ़ी खराब लग रहा था वैसे तो। मतलब शुरू में मैं काफ़ी मतलब फर्स्ट लैप में मेरे को 3 सेकंड का पेनल्टी मिल गया था मतलब पहले।
हाँ.
तो उसके बाद मैं पुश कर रहा था तो मैक्सिको का ट्रैक जिस तरीके से है पुश करने में हल्का-हल्का वाइड जाता रहा मैं और बट उस टाइम मेरे दिमाग में नहीं चल रहा था। ठीक है, मैं सोच रहा था ठीक है, चलो कोई नहीं करते हैं मतलब पुश करते हैं। वही एक रास्ता है अगर मैं पहुँच सकता हूँ वहाँ तक। तो मैं सोच रहा था कि अगर 6 सेकंड में होता तो भी मैं उसको पकड़ सकता हूँ और ओवरटेक करके मतलब गेन कर सकता हूँ टाइम क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा था कि मेरा पेस उससे फास्ट है।
करेक्ट.
बट 9 सेकंड के बाद थोड़ा-सा उम्मीदें चली गई।
वो तो होती है, लेकिन मैंने एक और चीज नोटिस किया. जैसे आपने बोला कि हाँ आप शुरू में पुश कर रहे थे, फिर मैंने वही नोटिस किया कि आपको जो 9 सेकंड मिली वो बहुत पहले ही मिल गई थी. बट बाद में आपको कोई पेनल्टी नहीं मिली. सो ऐसा हुआ कि आप यूज टू हो गए ट्रैक के कि आपको बस आप स्लो चला रहे थे, केयरफुल चला रहे थे आफ्टर 9 सेकंड?
कह सकते हैं कि केयर मतलब यूज्ड टू हो गया था क्योंकि शुरू में वो काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें दिमाग में चलती रहती हैं मेरे। तो वो काफ़ी
करेक्ट.
बड़ा वो रहता है मेरे साथ, बहुत ज़्यादा रहता है वो तो मेरे साथ मतलब जिसकी वज़ह से पहले लैप में मेरे को मिला था उसकी वज़ह से। और जब 9 सेकंड मिला तो उसका जो सेकंड वार्निंग आया था तो वो थर्ड वार्निंग के लिए वो अपने आप ही मेरे हाथ अपने आप ही कट हो गए कॉर्नर से। तो वो माइंड में रहता है बट उसके बाद काफ़ी अच्छा फ़ील आ रहा था मीडियम्स में जब मैंने पिट किया, तो काफ़ी बढ़िया फ़ील थी मीडियम्स के साथ तो फिर पुश करने में भी उसके बाद कोई दिक्कत ही नहीं हुई।
हाँ चलिए, वो होता है मेरे साथ भी. मैं भी रिलेट कर सकता हूँ कि एज द रेस गोज फॉरवर्ड आप थोड़ा थोड़ा यूज टू होते हैं. सो एनीवेज बहुत अच्छा रेस था आपके तरफ से भी एंड हमें बहुत अच्छा लगा देख के. Switching back to English because this is the first time I have done Hindi
कोई नहीं
commentary.
वो मेरी दिक्कत है बट
हाँ, नहीं, उसकी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. वो बस हो रहा है कि मेरा दिमाग एडजस्ट नहीं कर पा रहा है कि हिंदी में आई हैव टू स्पीक बिकॉज ऐसा होता है कि कमेंट्री कर रहे हैं तो इंग्लिश का ही आदत हो गया है. सो
मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि ये लगातार फिर हम होते रहे आपको.
नहीं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, हम समझ सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. बट बहुत अच्छा रेस था आपके तरफ से. डू वी हैव डिस्ट्रॉयड ट्रैक आल्सो इन द VC? Sorry, E-Dog?
EP10, yes, we do.
Yes. Okay, that's EP10 there in the VC. Simply, why don't you take it?
Yeah, sure. EP10, Halloween, you had a pretty solid race yourself. I mean, you were at you were hanging about the top 7, the top 8, and then after the pits, I believe you just found that pace in those tires, and you've managed to come on to P3. So first of all, congratulations for that. And I believe this is your first ever podium in IRC. So talk us through whatever you're feeling right now.
Yeah, it was really tricky because Mexico is a tricky track with turn 1, 2, and 3. And I knew if I just be alive with those at those points, then like we can get a good result. And especially starting from the sprint, I just always just got disqualified, and it was from P19. I managed to get a P7 by making up 9 places at turn 1 and 2. And yeah, for the race, once I was at P7, I knew there was the pace, and I'm pretty okay at Mexico. Like it's not my favorite track.
Mhm.
I'm not too bad at it. And yeah, once the Ferrari was in front of me, I think it was Uday or someone, and I knew that because of his strategy, I think I was just trying to be patient and not try to
Yep.
go full blast at him. And eventually, I knew that his tires were giving up, and just made a couple of positions, from P7. And thankfully, like I think some people pitted in front of me, and I think there was too much of traffic at the back, or maybe some lags, and it was pretty lonely. I got an unfortunate penalty for the 3 seconds because I think it was Ritesh, I believe,
Yep.
in P2 with 9 seconds of pen, and I was like, okay, I'm within 9 seconds. I just keep it over there. There's nobody behind me, and I just lost focus for a millisecond, and that's what just proved from P2 to P3. But all in all, it was a great weekend for me and for the team as well.
Indeed, a very good weekend for you. So congratulations on that result, and let's hope we
Thank you.
get to see you guys even more.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah, one thing you guys definitely gave us a learning that lot to expect for safety cars. So that's a very big learning that we will take for coming up tier 1 and tier 2 races. But yeah, brilliant drive by all 3 of you. But with that, I guess we come to a conclusion of our tier 3 race today on this beautiful Saturday evening at IRC. But yeah, if you liked what you saw today, and if you want to follow the tier 1 and the tier 2 race that we are gonna have tomorrow, do consider subscribing to us, and do consider pressing the bell notification to get notified whenever we go live with our races, be it Mexico or be it any track in the coming future. But that's it from today. That's it from Simply at my side, and a huge thanks to Ashray as well for commentating in the first half of the race. Unfortunately, because of some personal reasons, he had to drop off, but he did start off a very good race that we got to see today. But if you want to see an even more eventful race, do tune in tomorrow afternoon at 2:30 p.m. when we go live with our tier 2 boys, and on the same track of Mexico with a sprint weekend format. But that's it from us. Thank you. Have a nice day and good night.
Good night.